and thing like that. Because really just depends what style you like. You know, there's certain things that I certainly cannot do, and I have the awareness to realize, okay, I can't do those things. You can't do everyone else's job. I can't block, tackle, run, catch. Sure as hell can't run. But I can throw the out of the ball, you know? So let me just do that, and let me do that really well, you know?
I like that. That's a good answer. We talk about this on the show all the time. Some people do one thing great. Let them do that one thing great.
Were we just talking about this with Fernando Tatis Jr.? Yes, because there is a mentality, and I think some of this is due to LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron is the outlier who is really great at so many things that we now have this idea really across all sports that you are supposed to be great at everything, when really that was never the reality. And in life, most people are usually only truly great at one thing. Now, they can be good at other things. You can be a great actor and be a good director and, you know, be a good producer or whatever, like, because this is your business. So you learned how to do these things over the time where you were doing the thing that you were great at. But that's not the standard. Like, you could be the greatest of all time at one specific thing. Now, the football thing is interesting because most people would argue that, you know, football players are better athletes because it's a collision sport. They're dealing with more playing through more pain, and like, you know, it really is a preference thing to his point. And you're not going to compare, you know, Reggie White to Tom Brady. Like, they play different positions.
Right. They
have different skill sets. Maybe Reggie was a better athlete, probably was. But Reggie can't do what Tom does, and Tom can't do what he does. So how do you even really compare?
I contend that basketball players are the best athletes, and here's why. Because it combines, you have to be a great athlete. We don't ask hockey players and baseball players to have to run and jump. We don't ask football players outside of receivers and corners often to jump. Basketball guys got to be in great cardio shape, got to be strong. You got to run, you got to jump with the ball, have to do something in the air with the ball. Also, it's a highly skilled sport. If you don't play basketball for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it shows.
No. I mean, Chris Paul sat home and he came back the next game and you're like, oh, his shot's a little off. It's like golf. You don't pick up the sticks for a while. It's like, man, I can't chip. NFL is different. There are lots of examples in the NFL where somebody did not play high school football until their senior year, or not at all, didn't play college football. I mean, Antonio Gates, Hall of Fame tight end, did not play college football. You don't do that in the NBA. There are no, I'm athletic, I'm going to play pro basketball.
Yeah,
it doesn't
my
work.
brother didn't start playing football until his junior year of high school.
You see a lot of that, and they become great players. There are no, I never picked up a basketball until 20.
Well, I also would say with basketball, which people always argue with me about, and it's really, I just think it's kind of silly. I'm like, do you watch sport? It's a contact sport. So the NFL is a collision sport.
Different.
There are no collisions. But basketball is a contact sport. So on top of all the other things that you just mentioned, you are also body to body with other...
All the time.
But I'd say that's still a factor in his growth. And I give Brian Daboll a ton of credit for what he's done with Josh. But from a pure talent perspective, it's hard to think that he has more inherent talent than a Patrick Mahomes. It's just, I mean, even Aaron Rodgers, they're just so unique in terms of what they can do athletically with the football and converting passes.
By the way, you didn't mention Brady there in the talent thing. That was a kind of a slight.
well, no. Wait, I mean, he's going to show up on the next podcast. Brady's talent level is a totally different type of thing, and it's a lot from the shoulders up, where he understands, if he knows where what you're in, it's going to go to the right place. And there's a lot of guys that can't do that.
Okay. So, by the way, you're out in an undisclosed location. It's very bougie, but I would say it's not far. It's very nice.
I love the fact that you would call any place I'm located bougie.
So it's very...
pot calling the kettle,
Okay, so you're not far from Patriots, land. What are you hearing on Mac Jones? Seriously, what are you hearing? What are you seeing on Mac Jones from your sourcing?
I've heard that he is incredibly smart, and has picked up things at a very high level. And I was talking to someone who actually isn't with the Pats, but has as good knowledge of Mac Jones and understands him well, and said that he reminds him a lot of Tom in terms of his overall understanding of not just what they're doing offensively, but what defenses are trying to do, and his a unique ability to process things at a high level. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a push early. We'll have to see how the preseason games go to get him to play, much sooner than people anticipate.
All right. Well, enjoy your catamaran. Enjoy your lifestyle over the next couple of weeks, Eric.
Thank you, Colin.
All right. By the way, I was at a place last night. I was at a place with a pizza oven. Like.
Why can't you say where you were?
I just don't want to involve other people. I don't want to get
it. It was a party, right?
It was a party with very beautiful people, and they had this pizza oven that cooks pizzas in 2 minutes. You would make them, put them in, pull it at 800 degrees, 2 minutes. I'd never seen that before. Like, you can get these things at places, but they go to like 200 degrees, so 800 degrees. And it was just like, boom, pizza done. They made 40 of them.
Sounds like the good life.
It was a good life. And somebody that owns a vineyard was there as well. I don't do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not really into this.
You have been doing a lot more Hollywoody stuff lately since you've moved.
You know why? Because my house is in shambles.
Yeah,
so every party I get
outside,
every party I get invited to, I'm like, can you make me dinner? I've got no kitchen. I'm done with DoorDash.
I just don't want to eat out of a plastic container.
I've been eating out of a plastic container for 3 months. So if you invite me, I will come over to your house. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
So NFL players have the option to opt out of the 2021 season, no questions asked, if their latest contract was executed before October 1st, 2020.
Why is that the COVID thing or something?
Not sure, but Aaron Rodgers falls into that category and could decide to not play next season. However, the deadline to opt out is Friday, July 2nd. That is this week. And if you don't opt out, you cannot change your mind later if you don't do it by that date. So it's reportedly unlikely that Rodgers would choose to do this because he might not be ready to give up on the entire season in such a short amount of time. But Friday could be the first domino to fall in finding out if he is going to come back next season.
So if he opts out, Friday's the deadline.
Yeah. According to this, contract clause, this.
And when you do that, what does it trigger? What other things?
So it's like, you remember we had lots of opt-outs last year because of COVID. So it's essentially just a year off. Like you can not play this season. So that's what's happening. But they won't be compensated, but he wouldn't have to forfeit his $11.5 million in signing bonus money that was allocated for the 2021 season if he opts out.
So he could opt out and get 11 of his $30 million.
He would also presumably still receive the payments on his roster bonus, which is $6.8 million that he earned in March.
So now it's up to 17, 18.
Yeah.
So
this option is due to the pandemic.
So Aaron can opt out and get 60% of his money. And if he got Jeopardy, he's almost to 100%. Probably about
Is the Jeopardy thing still happening? Is that still?
It's very. My inside sources tell me it's very much undecided.
Very Hollywood sourcing.
How about that? That's interesting.
I'm saying we've been sort of speculating about where all this is with Rodgers and Green Bay for months now, but now we're getting closer to the season. There's deadlines starting to come up. Training camp is approaching. And, there's starting to be dates where, decisions have to be made or contracts are going to change.
Well, the two numbers you gave out, it's like $19 million.
He's not going to be broke for the year, no. He's not going to receive his normal salary, like his normal contract salary for the year. But
he's getting a chunk of it.
There's a lot of different...
Very interesting.
Things that could happen. So LeBron has made the argument before that while Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time, he can't be the greatest athlete of all time because he doesn't play both sides of the ball. Brady responded to that claim on HBO's The Shop and gave a humble response. admitting he knows he can't do it all on the football field.
I'm not a big comparison thing like
I agree,
that.
yeah.
Because it really just depends what style you like. You know, there's certain things that I certainly cannot do, and I have the awareness to realize, okay, I can't do those things. You can't do everyone else's job. I can't block, tackle, run, catch. Sure as hell can't run. But I can throw the out of the ball, you know? So let me just do that, and let me do that really well, you know?
I like that. That's a good answer. We talk about this on the show all the time. Some people do one thing great. Let them do that one thing great.
Were we just talking about this with Fernando Tatis?